So here's the headline. Transformers Rise of the Beast actress Dominique Fishback says, as Black and brown people, we don't get the opportunity to see mind-blowing things.
What a strange statement right there. Like,
it is. It's and like I could see like, oh man, that's an inflammatory comment, but that's what she said. That's what she said. So let's go down and read here what she said. She did this in an interview with Fandango. Fandango, who knew Fandango was getting people to say the most insane things without actually doing gotcha questions? Like, it's just wild. So she did an interview with Fandango with fellow actors Anthony Ramos, Tobe Nwigwe, and Lisha Koshi. And they were asked, like, this is the question that they were asked. Is there anything that you can tease in Rise of the Beasts that could suggest the future of the Transformers film franchise is especially bright because of the movie you made? Like, generic, no gotcha there, like just super generic, door wide open. You can talk about pretty much anything you want. Like, if anything, she's trying to get maybe a spoiler. Like, is there a sequel involved?
That's what the tease is supposed to mean, right? Where am I pointing? Over here. That's what the tease is supposed to mean, right? That's what it is. Can you tease? Is there anything you can tease in Rise of the Beast? Not like in your experience as a human being, seeing the suffering of all mankind. What is your opinion that can be Transformers franchise related? It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah. So that's the question. It's just a vanilla milk toast. Like, can you spoil anything basically for this exclusive that we can then hype up, right?
And put in our headline. Fishback is like, well, let me tell you something, brother.
Hello, kids. Do you know about identity politics?
You're right.
I think the idea of like nothing is ever really new under the sun. Like, things work because they've been working a certain way for so long. And that's why you get different characters from different backgrounds. And then the perception changes and the lens from what you see things change. That's just a bunch of word salad for like critical race theory.
That's a Kamala Harris speech. It's like, we must prepare to begin to get ready to start to analyze the approach forward.
That was really good. Have you been watching a lot of Kamala Harris?
Unfortunately.
Oh no. What is John doing to you over there on the dank stream? Jeez, subjecting you to that. That's torture.
It is.
So I think like with this, you have these kids from Brooklyn. We've never seen Brooklyn kids meet Autobots. It's never happened. I didn't fact check that. I assume that that's probably happened before. I feel like that's had to have happened in like the 80s cartoon. This probably has been somewhere, right? They probably met some people from Brooklyn before, right?
Yeah, they had a crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, so I feel like that's happened before. Obviously not on the big screen, because I don't even know where Sam was. He was like in the suburbs somewhere out west. I feel like in
California or something like that. Yeah, Texas. Wide open.
And then I don't even remember I don't remember where the girl in the Mark Wahlberg one, where she was from. She's from like Mexico or something. She was from California too.
They were over in Colorado. That's where they were.
Oh, that was Colorado?
Okay. Yeah, they were out in the plains hiding from Nest.
And then they went over to like England.
Illinois.
They went to Illinois. Oh, well, they were in England at one point, right? Because they get to the Stonehenge, right?
Yeah, because that's where Cybertron was going to crash into, because Stonehenge was like some kind of trigger for the hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so dumb. Oh.
But I'm pretty sure they probably met people from Brooklyn, from New York City before. But I wasn't going to go fact check that, right? Like, whatever. We don't often, as Black and brown people, we don't get the opportunity to see mind-blowing things like aliens and things like that. Like, what are you, like, again, this is just utterly insane. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, even if you're talking about being in the films, there's so many examples of that. And I love people were replying to this on Twitter, and they were just like putting all the examples of like, I forget, someone was like, there's like a detective. I had to look him up because I didn't recognize the character until like I was like, okay, I remember that movie, but I didn't remember the character's name. But there's like a detective who like apparently goes around and sees all these crazy things. That's what he does. Yeah, Don't Let Them Burn says Miami kids haven't met Transformers. So what? There's like a 007 spoof with the I forget who plays him, but he's got the big fro and he's a spy. I can't remember what that movie was. But he's doing all kinds of mind blowing things in that film.
So wait,
can't remember what that
hold
movie is.
on.
But there's so many examples.
We don't get the opportunity to see mind-blowing things like aliens and things like that. So what was the Men in Black series that was totally built around Will Smith?
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? I mean, granted, Will Smith is a race swap character from the comics, but again, I also think that was a time where we weren't like super hard on identity politics, and they were built. That was literally given to him because he's a superstar. It's a Hollywood superstar,
right? Well, and he had the right attitude for it. That's the thing. Is that again? It could have been a white
great
dude,
performance,
but he had the attitude for it. Yeah.
But yeah, that whole thing was him literally like encountering mind-blowing things as part of the Men in Black.
Was the first movie where he was screaming about everything all the time.
Yeah, and he's making all kinds of ridiculous things. He's like shooting the little minigun.
Yeah, the cricket. It keeps knocking him off his feet.
Like flying backwards.
Yeah, no, that never happened. You got to remember, Will Smith was never a person. You got to remember that was all. It was all racist CGI.
Blade is like slicing up vampires. Those are I would assume that's kind of pretty mind-blowing.
In my opinion, still the coolest fight scene in a first edition movie, right? So like, your first run of a franchise, still the coolest fight scene is him in that rave during the blood rave.
Yeah, the opening
so
scene,
cool. So cool.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. Yeah, JAC says Men in Black comic was super indie, the original books. Yeah, it's black and white. I'm not I'm just pointing out that it is indeed a race swap because it is. That's a fact. They race swap Agent J, but I don't think it was done the way it's being done now, where it's all about the agenda. They have quotas. It's all about critical race theory. It's all about representation agenda. It wasn't done for that. It was done because it was Will Smith. He's a huge Hollywood superstar, and he killed that character. Like his Agent J was awesome, and he that was a mega blockbuster hit. And a lot of it was because of Will Smith, on the back of Will Smith and his performance.
And you know what had nothing to do with that? His blackness. He was just a great actor. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Independence Day, again, Will Smith, right? Welcome to Earth, which we said earlier. He's literally encountering aliens,
and mind-blowing things.
And
like
we talked about
ship.
Yes, we talked about the characters that were literally in the first Transformers that were experiencing mind-blowing things.
And Jazz is clearly black-coded. I'm sorry. Jazz is clearly black-coded in that first movie. So I'm sorry. That's just how that is.
He was remember they said they picked up by getting beams from Earth. He was clearly listening to BET and
his whole language.
All the rap radio stations.
He sounds like a 90s hip-hop artist giving a PSA. That's his whole thing. He's like this out-of-touch hip-hop guy that's doing MC Hammer, remember to brush your teeth stuff. That's his whole
it works. Motif. And it works too, because there's nothing wrong with that. It works.
He called them turkeys. He did the thing.
Yeah. We also have there's a ton of superheroes too that they don't use. I mean, aside from Black Panther, and there is Black Lightning.
Panther. But the only thing they could do with Black Lightning was highlight what every Black family show does is interpersonal drama and the issues with inner city living, which is pretty boring, even with a CW lightning effect.
But we have Shaq was Steel back in the day, right?
One of my favorite superhero movies still. It's dumb, but I love it. It's so hopeful. It's like one dude can make a difference. That's his whole. It's awesome.
We had the static animated show. I mean, there's just so many examples, and it's just ridiculous to try and claim this. It's stupid.
We've had now 5 Black Red Rangers in the Power Rangers series, and that's pretty much exclusively seeing mind-blowing things like aliens and things like that, like giant robots. And
Party Man, yeah.
Your boss is literally an alien in a tube.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
wow.
Yeah. All right. So then Ramos actually he chimes in this too, and he says, "Or we're not put in mind-blowing scenarios."
We just
Except
went
you
through
are.
this.
Yes, we did.
Amazing.
And then so she says, and so to have that and have it take place in Brooklyn and so infused in the culture of Brooklyn because director Stephen Cable Jr. was so specific about that. That gives a whole dynamic and a whole new world opens up because of the perspectives that we have now. Very different. So to me, this sounds like it's going to be a bunch of CRT in the film from the characters.
Nobody thought that having a giant mechanized gorilla running around Brooklyn wouldn't smack of Rampage. Not at all. Not a bit. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, probably a little
Whatever.
bit, but I don't know. I don't. I feel like they've totally like outside of like those original like the first one and the third one. I feel like they totally don't understand what people want from a Transformers film anymore. And I think people are just like done with like I don't want to see a human drama. I don't want to see the human drama stuff because it's going to be some kind of like woke messaging in it and just show me the robots. Like that was the best part of Bumblebee was the opening scene on Cybertron and it went downhill from there. And I thought they made Bumblebee a joke. It was so stupid. I hated all the stupid stuff they did with him. It was really annoying.
Mecha Harambe.
Mecha Harambe. Yeah, that'd be great. That's actually a good idea for a movie.
We brought him back. We have the technology. It's like a $6 million man, the $6 million gorilla.
Oh, I love that's a great idea.
Right?
I'd love to see that. Put it in like Kung Fury. It's like a Kung Fury boss or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's helping him, right? It's Kung Fury too, and he makes like a body armor for him. So he has like a gorilla body armor.
Yeah.
See, we already do this better, and we're not even thinking about it, right? Like this would have been way cooler, whatever they're coming up with a Brooklyn and it's meaning, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, this whole film, like they're hiding it super a lot in the trailers and everything like that, but they've made some pretty comments that it's gonna have.